Good afternoon, class. Welcome for today's lesson, the 24th of May, 2020. Our topic today is reception, response, and coordination. The facilitator of the lesson, Musando Kennedy. Feel most welcome. The objectives of the topic. By the end of this chapter, the learner should be able to define irritability, stimulus, and response. Objective number 2, the learner should be able to explain the difference between tactic and tropic responses and their survival values. 3, the learner should be able to explain production of plant hormones. Those are the auxin hormones, where they are produced, and the effect on tropism, in brackets, growth response. 4, the learner should be able to relate the structure of the mammalian nervous system to its function. Mammalian nervous system, that is the nerve systems, and the function of the nerve system. At that point, we'll be looking at the neurons, the types of neurons, functions, adaptations, and the difference between those neurons. Also, there we will look at the central nervous system, being the brain and the spinal cord. Objective number 5, the learner should be able to distinguish between simple and conditioned reflex action. Reflex action, that means an automatic response towards a stimuli. So the simple one and the complex one. 6, explain. The learner should be able to explain the role of the endocrine system in human being. Endocrine system comprising of the glands that secrete hormones. These hormones that are serving as communication agents within our body. They effect various changes within the body to bring back a given condition to normal. So look at the hormones, where they are secreted and their role. 7, state the effect of drug abuse on human health. Beginning by defining what is a drug, definition of drug addiction, looking at categories of drugs, and also discussing about the effect of each drug. Then next objective is to relate the structure to the function of the human ear and the eye, sense organs. And with the sense organs, we take focus to look at the human eye and the human ear, to study about the parts, functions, and adaptation. Then finally, to be able to know about the defects, explain the eye and the ear defect, and how to correct those defects. A defect meaning whatever that will make your eye not to perform its function of perceiving objects clearly, that is a defect. Whatever that will make your ear not to be able to perceive sound or to perform the function of balance, that is a defect. So to look at all these defects and how to correct those defects so that this person can be able to continue a normal life. Those are the objectives for the topics. Now, the beginning is the definition of terms. Now we have three terms to be defined under reception, response, and coordination. The first one is reception. Reception is a process of detecting and perceiving changes. To detect and to perceive change. What happens when somebody is throwing sands towards your eye? You detect, and then you perceive change by blinking your eye. What about if you are seated next to a source of heat in a kitchen, warming yourself, and then the intensity of the heat increases? You perceive the increased heat intensity and you move away from the source. So that is a reception. It is a process of detecting and perceiving changes. Response is a change in behavior of the part or the whole body. A change in behavior of the part or the whole body. For example, when you communicate with one another using the eye, by affirmation of the eye, that is response. The change in behavior of the part of the part or the whole body. So that is the eye. When somebody is speaking and you can't hear clearly, and you are holding your ear and somehow assisting it to be able to hear, it is a response. So those are various types of responses. A change in behavior of the part of the whole body, that is a response. Stimuli. It is a variation change in environmental condition. That is a stimuli. Variation change in environmental condition. We've been feeling cold and in the morning, all of a sudden, when the sun strikes, we start feeling warm. So we detect that it was cold, then it is warm. That is stimuli. If somebody pricks you with a sharp object, you detect that is a variation change in environmental condition. Under stimuli, we have various types of stimuli, and there are: one, light is a stimuli because it evokes a response or it changes the behavior of the part of the whole body. Temperature is a stimuli. Sugar level in blood is a stimuli. Carbon 4 oxide concentration is a stimuli within the body of an organism. Water level is another stimuli within the body of an organism. And when the water level increases beyond of whatever is required, then there is need for this water to come out. And that's why somebody passes a lot of urine. So water is a stimuli because it evokes a response. Then atmospheric pressure is also a stimuli. So those are examples of stimuli which causes response. Irritability, the ability to detect and respond to environmental changes. Ability to detect and respond to environmental changes, that is irritability. Detecting and responding. Take it for instance when we are given this message that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the government has given directives for students to be able to go back home until when it will communicate back. The information was detected by the listener who was the student and respond to the information, and that was irritability. Because the response was, of course, happiness, at least a moment of break. Living organisms respond to environmental changes for the following reasons. One, to obtain food. When you feel the pangs of hunger, you start looking for food. To search for mates. When there is the mating process, let's take it for instance, that people, when you ask, for example, in a simple way from the family setup, how your father and your mother met, and you'll get funny stories behind that. One, your mother from Busia, your father from Webuye, they met in Mombasa. That is an example of irritability in search of mates. What about animals? Look at the behavior of the dogs and the cats. They detect a scent of from the female dog that is ready for mating, and they start tracking and following. That is irritability. 3, to escape from harmful stimuli. Once a gazelle spots a leopard, it takes off. It is escaping from harmful stimuli. When you're pricked with a sharp pair of compass, you withdraw your hand or your body. That is a sign of irritability. For sensitivity and response to be effected in man, there must be a system. For man, which is myself from a man, for example, for the purpose of for me to sense and to respond to stimuli, there must be a coordinated working system. The first one is to be able to receive the stimuli. So there must be a system of being able to receive the stimuli. Through our hands, when we touch hot objects, we feel we have received the stimuli. Second thing that is required, coordinating system. In man, it is the brain. Brain is the coordinating system. That this coordinating system receives and integrates the information to either tell you that it is harmful or it's not harmful. And if it is harmful, therefore, the brain is able to detect. So the brain receives and integrates. Transmission system. And with the transmission system in man, we have sensory nerve cell, relay nerve cell, and motor nerve cells. They are responsible for transmitting. Transmitting in a simple language means transporting in our common language, but then biologically we say transmitting from the point of reception to the point where it is received, is integrated, that is, and then from the back to the effecting system. Lastly, effector. And in man, the effector are muscles. Their role is to respond to stimuli. Their role is to respond to stimuli. That is effector. Reception and coordination in lower animals. What are lower animals? Amoeba and protozoa. Why are they called lower animals? They are simple cell organisms or single cell organisms. What do we know about them? There's microscopic, and because of that, biologically we say they have a large surface area to volume ratio. Hence, their body are highly exposed to the environment. For that reason, they have simple structures for detecting and coordination of effective response. They have simple. So a question comes, give reasons why amoeba have simple structure for detecting and coordination of effective response. The response, because they have a large surface area to volume ratio, hence their bodies are highly exposed to the environment. Reception and coordination in higher animals. Higher animals, you and I, we belong, and any other animal. Wild animals, there they are. Higher animals have an elaborate system for detection, coordination, and response to stimuli. Elaborate means wide. Why? Because their body parts are far located from each other. Since they are far located from each other, look, the brain is here within the skull. But then it's working alongside with the heart, working alongside with the lungs, working alongside with the kidney. These organs, as the way I've touched them, they are located far away from each other. The kidney, the lungs, the heart, the brain. They are working in coordination, far away from each other. Therefore, that's why they are said to be having a large surface area. I mean, because their body organs are far located from each other, that's why they require an elaborate system for detection, coordination, and response. Reception and coordination in arthropods. What are arthropods? They are organisms. Kingdom Animalia, phylum Arthropoda. Characteristics: jointed appendages, exoskeleton, segmented body. Simplest example: housefly, grasshopper. They have a nervous system, just like human beings, comprising of peripheral nerves and ventral nerves. Peripheral means on the edge, on the outer. Ventral means centrally. So they have the peripheral and the ventral nerves. How do they detect and respond to stimuli? They detect changes through special cells called receptors and respond through muscles and glands. Thank you.